Hello, I'm Diane Voigt, and welcome to our spring fundraiser event for Plowshare Fair Trade Marketplace and Education for Peace. Let's begin with a few words about our nonprofit organization. The most visible part of Plowshare Fair Trade Marketplace and Education for Peace is our storefront, located at 219 Main Street in downtown Waukesha. When you walk in, you'll discover a world of opportunities to help others to have a better life. We have items from artisans from around the globe, and each item has a story. Like these bell todas, or prosperity hens, meant to hang in windows or doorways for good luck. Artisans in Chodan Lorena, India, meet to create decorations when the school day is over and their children are fed. As part of fair trade, these artisans are paid a fair wage for their work. They get raw materials in advance, so they don't need loans. Older women teach the craft to the younger ones. And while working, the artisans are able to visit and plan business strategies. When you buy an item like this, you are helping the women supplement family incomes, allowing them to pay for their children's educations, for food and other supplies. Our items come from around the globe, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the items are all made in other countries. In fact, these bath and beauty products are made in the Milwaukee area. Our volunteer filmmaker, Mark Doremus, will introduce us to the people who make these items.
5 mornings a week, Milwaukee's Franciscan peacemakers load their van and head out into the city's streets. The organization's mission? To help women working in the sex trade turn their lives around. Darlene has been doing outreach for more than 20 years.
So what I do is I actually work with the women that's out on the streets that's involved in sex work or addictions, and we try to assist them with basic needs stuff, like we pass out lunches. We have like hygiene items in our van. We have some clothing, and just trying to work with the women right where they are. And also
3 scoops of the oil, 3 or 4, and then we're gonna take 4 of these.
Today, Darlene is learning to craft bath soap that Franciscan peacemakers sell at church events, farmers markets, and in stores. Peacemakers are encouraged to learn different parts of the organization. So Shinichi is teaching Darlene the soap making process.
Man, it brings a lot of joy. I love doing it, without a doubt. And then actually, being able to show someone else, how, what I was taught. Mm-hmm. So it makes my day go really smooth. Mm-hmm. Get it stirred up. Don't be timid, girl. Gotta stir it up.
okay.
Shinichi learned how to make soap while living in the Clare community, another part of the organization that helps women rebuild their lives. Since 2014, the Clare community has offered a 2-year program for women like Shinichi that provides housing, job training, and treatment. They also earn a living wage while learning job skills.
The peacemakers have saved my life. Once I joined this organization, they gave me a job, place to stay, and I'm on top of the world right about now.
Okay, yeah.
Living my best life.
There we go, Nietzsche. Yeah. That's it. The last of it. Okay.
Shinichi and Darlene will produce about 200 bars of handcrafted soap today from all natural ingredients. The bars will take weeks to cure before they're wrapped and sold. These are among the thousands that will be made this year. Peacemakers also make lotions, bath bombs, and candles, sold in the organization's retail store on Milwaukee's Lisbon Avenue. This building also houses a hospitality center for women who need a place to get lunch or just to talk. The organization hopes to expand its product line this year, and it hopes to increase the number of women served by the Clare community from 3 to 6.
So with that means hopefully more goodness coming into the lives of not only our customers, but most importantly, these women that are, committing to themselves, committing to the healing process, and saying yes to themselves.
And if there's other girls out there, if they need to come on in, this is the place to be. Get your mind right. Right up in here. Putting the babies to sleep. Keep them nice and warm.
The purpose of this fundraiser is to keep our Plowshare Fair Trade Marketplace an anchor store in downtown Waukesha. Plowshare is very different from the other businesses down here. We are nonprofit and we are totally run by a volunteer board of directors. We like to say that the community of Waukesha owns Plowshare. How can you, as a co-owner, help to support our artisans? One way you can help is by bidding at the Spring Silent Auction, which closes April 30th at 8 p.m. You'll find a wonderful selection of 100 items to bid on. As you look at the list, you'll see gift certificates to many downtown locations and so much more. I sincerely thank all of the generous donors for making this year's silent auction possible. Another way that you can help to support the Plowshare mission is by making a donation before May 31st. Each $25 donation to Plowshare will give you a chance to win this wonderful Waukesha Strong gift basket. It has some fair trade items like Equal Exchange coffee and this beautiful Haitian metal peace stove, and lots of Waukesha Strong gear. For every $25 you donate to support the Plowshare mission, you get an entry into the drawing for these items. The gift basket winner will be announced the first week in June. Good luck! Your participation in this fundraiser also keeps our education initiatives going. Part of Plowshare's mission is education for peace. Waukesha's peaceful community experienced a tragedy last November that shook us to our very core. No one could have imagined that 6 would lose their lives while participating in our annual downtown Christmas parade, or that dozens more would be seriously injured. Telling the story of our community's recovery fits into Plowshare's mission of education for peace. Our volunteers Mark DeRemus and Karen Slattery have been documenting the stories and will now share part of our collective journey down the road to resilience.
For Tyler Pudleiner, getting back to normal also means getting back to baseball. He's a catcher for the Waukesha South High School team. Eric Teagues is the pitcher he usually works with. Both marched in the high school band in the Waukesha Christmas parade, and both were seriously injured. Getting back on the field was a moment of triumph.
I'm just really excited. Like, being out here again just feels great.
I'm a little nervous, but all in all excited and know it's going to be a special game.
It's awesome to see him out here. His road back here has just been, it's been long and it's been hard, and then to have them be able to start together, you know, they were in band together, they were in the parade together, they got hurt together, and now they're coming back together, and it's huge.
Tyler's mom was at the Christmas parade to watch her son in the marching band. Shortly after she took this picture, a red SUV drove through the barricades and into the parade marchers. The 39-year-old suspect is awaiting trial in the Waukesha County Jail. He's charged with 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide and 67 other counts related to the injuries to other parade victims. The 6 who lost their lives include 3 of Milwaukee's dancing grannies and one of their supporters. 2 other marchers died in the tragedy, an area bank employee and an 8-year-old baseball player. More than 60 people were injured, including Tyler.
And that's when the mom that was with him yelled out, "Katie, he's over here." And I've known her since they were in preschool. Her daughter and him were in preschool together. And she's like, "I'm holding his head," and the EMTs were just getting to start on him.
Now, they say I didn't lose consciousness, but probably all the adrenaline, the shock is, the next thing I remember lying there is her and the paramedics, mom and the paramedics showing up and finding me there. And at that point, it was obviously dealing with the pain, but I didn't know what the heck was going on.
Former county supervisor Bill Mitchell was marching with the Catholic community of Waukesha when he was hit by the SUV.
You know, I was told later I flew up and down over it, the car, but I don't remember that. But I do remember being on the ground and people coming to help me.
I just jumped right in and I went,
Rachel Kretz was among those who helped.
Mary backed off and I was able to hold, it was a towel just over on his head, and Carrie was on the other side, on his right side, I was on his left, and ended up just checking his pulse, keeping him talking, and it was chaos.
I think our community should take a lot of pride in the response they had for this particular event.
The rush to help was immediate, but recovery is slow. Tyler Pudleiner underwent 2 surgeries. He and his mother are working through emotional trauma, like many others in the community.
Everybody's family, especially those involved, you know, we don't know what goes on behind those closed doors of each other's family, and there's a lot of issues that people still struggle with, you know.
Therapists say emotional responses to trauma vary, and they can be severe. They include distress, flashbacks, nightmares, survivor's guilt, post-traumatic stress disorder, and more. We've asked 3 mental health counselors to explain how Waukesha is working toward recovery and how we can all participate.
And even though we know sort of in our head that anything can happen to anybody and things do happen to innocent people, when it actually does and just it just completely takes you by, you know, like I said, just completely pulls the rug out from underneath you, we have to start establishing an equilibrium.
Members of the community immediately found ways to express their collective grief and offer comfort and support for those who were affected. Blue lights outside homes signaled solidarity. The Unite with a Blue Light initiative was made possible through donations. The light bulbs were handed out by city council members and by area businesses. This spot in a city park spontaneously became a place where people could express their feelings of grief and compassion.
The blue lights and the memorial and all of those different things are different ways individually coming together. I'm not alone in having to do this. I have other people who are experiencing this, and in some ways it's a visible sign of that, a visible expression of something that you just really can't possibly put words to.
These tokens of grief and support were at the park for weeks. When it was time to remove them, it was done with dignity. Mayor Sean Riley presided over the decommissioning of the temporary memorial.
We have been united as a community to continue to support those who experienced the worst of that day on November 21st, and that we will continue to recover and heal. We will continue to show that good will win over evil. We as a community will be survivors and not victims. So we're going to take a short moment of silence.
After the ceremony, the items were collected and carefully packed to be transported to a museum and become part of Waukesha's collective memory. Meanwhile, a permanent memorial is in the works. The City Commission is working on the location and the details. People naturally reach out to their neighbors, friends, and relatives in the aftermath of a crisis. Social media networks play a role. This Facebook page appeared early on, linking people so they could share thoughts and help organize the community's response to the tragedy. Crystal Gomm got the Facebook page up and running.
Well, I started the Waukesha Community's Facebook page to help make a difference, so that people wanted to post on how someone's doing. If somebody wanted to make a donation, there was one place to go to. It's grown really big. I'm really proud of it. It's more than what I expected, and it's just awesome.
The number of group members swelled to over 6,000.
Giving people an opportunity, a venue to tell their stories. Being able to connect with other people that are in the same situation, having the same questions, right? I think that's that communication, that community piece, that support piece is so essential.
Millions of dollars have been raised to help victims cover their costs, including medical bills and lost wages. Downtown merchants pitched in. Joan Skimmons runs an art gallery on the city's main street where the tragedy occurred. Like many others downtown, she's donated part of her profits to support parade victims.
The business community has jumped in right away. My neighbors down the street, Taylor's People's Park. I mean, you can look around the community. There are so many that are giving back. Everyone is jumping in because we were all affected by it. And we hope that people can view our community in a positive way going forward, and that we're not stained by this horrible, horrible event.
Caroling and a lantern stroll brought folks together, offering a sense of renewal. The event was organized by the co-owner of a popular downtown restaurant, Dan Taylor.
Because I think people were enthusiastic, they came back down, they embraced the idea of trying to heal, and we're going to continue doing it every year. It's our way of remembering the people who were lost, as well as providing an event that will be hopeful and joyful and optimistic, where we would incorporate vigil lights in a sense, but in more of an uplifting way.
The community has found ways to say thank you to caregivers, first responders, and others who stepped up to help at the parade and in its aftermath. Crystal Gomm helped organize the first responders' thank you chili dinner. Volunteers provided the food. Firefighter Josh Johnson was there. He's been with the fire department for about a decade. The aftermath of the tragedy has been difficult for him as a professional and as a father. He says his sons were in the same school and in the same grade as the child who died in the parade.
We had to figure out as parents how to process this with them. And I don't honestly think there's an easy way to do anything like that. So, as the days went on and days turned to weeks, and the emotion wasn't at the front of your mind at every second like it was the first couple of weeks, and you just kind of learned how to move on and take the things that you have and don't take them for granted because they can be gone in seconds.
Retired firefighter Phillip Buchholtz still works in canine search and rescue. He was at the parade and stepped in to help. Like others, he's left trying to make sense of the experience.
It's really hard to believe what happened, but that's what God gives us, challenges at times, and that's what we have to deal with. And then ultimately down why. It's really a hard answer. I don't think anybody's going to really have that, specific answer or whatever, and it's always going to be in the hearts of a lot of folks.
It's never over. It's something that's going to shape the individuals directly hit as well as our community for a very long time.
I think healing as a community is coming together, understanding that we've all experienced this together, and being open and honest with each other, being vulnerable with each other, so that we can connect on a deeper level. And that's where the healing begins.
Norm Bruce and his wife Eve hosted this and other healing events in their bookstore on Main Street. It's a longtime social anchor in Waukesha.
And so it becomes really important for us, for the whole community, to restore that sense of regular saying, this is safe, this is not who we are, that was an isolated incident. You need to know that we take those kind of things and we care for the people in our community.
I was more than proud to be able to present to you Milwaukee's Dancing Granny!
You need people around you to keep going. You can bury stuff for a long time, but you can't heal from this alone.
Jan Kwiatkowski knows the importance of community support firsthand. She is herself a member of the Milwaukee Dancing Grannies, a group that was devastated in the parade tragedy. The Grannies received a rousing welcome when they returned to Milwaukee's St. Patrick's Day Parade in March.
The reaction of the crowd is just so inspiring, so encouraging, so hopeful. This became even clearer to us that we can't quit, and we have to figure out what it looks like to move forward in a healthy way. How do you acknowledge the horror of what happened and move forward at the same time?
All right, guys. Thank you, Granny. Thank you.
Healing is hard work. Healing is hard work, but don't quit.
Thank you, Karen and Mark, for sharing those amazing stories of healing. We are healing together. We are Waukesha Strong. Each spring, Plowshare honors a group and an individual with the Kate Delaney Joan Peace Builder Awards. These awards are named in honor of one of our founders, Kate Joan. Plowshare's recipient of the 2022 Group Award is the Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. When the Christmas parade tragedy happened, Catholic Charities was there to help. The agency opened its doors to victims, witnesses, and to anyone in need of counseling. The agency is also dispersing more than $60,000 collected from local parishes to help victims.
And we will still look at ways that we can develop either new programs or other supports to help clients or folks from the Waukesha community who are still struggling with this.
Catholic Charities has been serving neighbors in need for more than a century, casting a safety net over 10 counties in southeastern Wisconsin. The agency offers a range of bilingual services, many for free, others on a sliding scale.
Our mission is to serve individuals with dignity and respect. This is what we operate out of, respecting others and treating them with dignity.
Thank you for your work helping the victims of the Waukesha Parade tragedy recover. Your compassion and empathy have helped to bring peace to downtown Waukesha.
The work that you do around southeast Wisconsin and the work that you've done in Waukesha truly exemplify the things that we hope to honor, bringing together diverse groups of people for greater understanding, cooperation, and peace.
And so I would like to present you with the Kate Delaney Jolin Peace Builder Award for 2022.
Thank you so much for this award on behalf of the Catholic Charities staff in Waukesha. We're deeply humbled that you have awarded us this, and we're here to serve our community. The mission of Catholic Charities is to serve the poor and to advocate for justice and to call upon others to do the same. So this really is something that we do, and we thank you for the nomination and for this award.
Each spring, Plowshare recognizes an individual who's made a difference. Our award recipient is Mark Doremus. We usually see Mark behind his camera. Mark has been instrumental in telling Plowshare's story of peace and economic justice during the pandemic. He's created our virtual fundraising programs and stories about our mission and the people we work with to accomplish it. Mark is a past president of Sophia, a coalition of area faith communities dedicated to justice and the common good. He also served on the board of the Catholic Worker for 5 years. Mark also uses his camera to create films about social and environmental justice. You may have seen his film, More Precious Than Gold. It's about a grassroots campaign to stop an open pit mine from being built on the edge of the Menominee River in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, a river that flows into the Great Lakes. Or his film, Remembering Bronzeville, that documents the story of the development of Milwaukee's historic African-American neighborhood. It was later destroyed in the era of urban renewal and freeway construction.
I'm very pleased to have nominated Mark Doremus for the individual Kate Delaney Jolin Peace Builder Award for 2022.
I read that you believe stories are so powerful because they are a gateway to empathetic thinking. And your stories in film serve to help people open their minds to new and wonderful things and empathetic thinking. We are so lucky at Plowshare that you have been around to tell our stories.
And in addition to the work you've done for Plowshare, the work that you've done for other community organizations has made a huge difference in the community of Waukesha, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So right now we would like to present you with the Kate Delaney Jolin Peace Builder Award and offer you our many thanks.
Well, thank you. This is great. I really appreciate it. It's been a wonderful experience, very positive and great opportunity for me.
Thank you for joining us for Plowshare Spring Fundraising Event. And thank you for supporting the Plowshare Fair Trade Marketplace and Education for Peace mission. As our community comes together to heal, we will continue to be Waukesha Strong.